Epilogue. Bernice was tired. The conflict was over, for now. They had to return William Blake to his own time and place, and then carry on wherever the fancy took them. Blake looked burnt out. The last week had taken a toll on the 50-year-old man. Bernice was not really aware of his poetry or art, but knew that he was a mystic and artist. She would have liked to have had a conversation with him, but he was exhausted. He walked into the TARDIS and didn't even notice that it was larger on the inside than on the outside. He leant against the wall and seemed to drain away. "Do you still want to go and see the unknown?" the doctor asked. "I don't know what I want," she replied. Copy Ion had taken them in his ship across the planet that within a few hours would be destroyed. She had last seen Copy Ion staring out of his spaceship at the 3 time-travellers. The doctor had tried to say something to him, but Copy Ion ignored him. The spaceship had risen off the planet in a cloud of dust. Back at the TARDIS, Bernice took a last look around. There was a breathless beauty to the jungle. "Just have hope. Remember that we won this time, and it's possible that we'll win next time." "But it's not likely," Bernice added. The doctor put his hand in his pocket and looked surprised. He slowly pulled out his yo-yo. He began to play with it, letting the weight fall to the floor and return to his hand. He smiled that idiotic grin, as if everything would be all right now that his toy was working. They walked inside the TARDIS and closed the electronic doors. The time machine seemed eerie. There was a coldness about it. It was almost menacing. The doctor hadn't noticed. He started pressing switches and noting figures on the dials. The distinctive sound of the time machine dematerializing filled the air. The Time Lord was entranced by the machinery and began to fiddle with the console controls. He seemed to be ignoring Bernice. "What are you doing?" she asked. "We must return Blake to his own time." She shivered. She hadn't managed to shake off the vague feelings of unease that had disturbed her on the planet. Nothing had been sorted out. She didn't feel safe. The TARDIS seemed to shudder. The doctor frowned. "I am..." "What?" "Nothing." He seemed angry. "The TARDIS and I are perfectly all right. I was just thinking of the future." He smiled inanely and turned away. She had to take her mind off the events of the last few days. She saw the chessboard. "Do you want a game?" she asked. The doctor ignored her. "Do you play chess?" she asked Blake, still looking at the doctor. He appeared bemused, staring at an array of instruments and lights, as if uncertain how to proceed. "It could be a while before we get you back home." She turned to the poet. Blake lay on the floor with his eyes closed. He was fast asleep.